hiding behind my veil of secrecy. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this brief and get my point across. I know my videos are always long. This one's going to be simple. I watched a documentary last night. I can't remember what it was called. It was a UFO video on Netflix, and it was about I think it was the Milius brothers, and it was. I don't watch UFO videos. I'm not into that anymore as much as I used to because of all the disinformation out there and misinformation. And I'm really glad I watched this one because the entirety of the movie was about disinformation. And they showed one guy speaking at a UFO conference and basically telling everybody that, we're being lied to, and he was being booed off the stage. And it was kind of that moment where I realized that people don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hear the mystical side of things. But the truth is that UFOs are a subject that are so impossible to really know what's going on because of the disinformation campaign that was put forward. Yes, UFOs probably exist. Yes, the government probably has UFO ships. But beyond that, all the rest of it is, there's so much disinfo. And in the late 70s and the early 80s, the U.S. government actually put out an entire the military, whoever did it, they published and then released secretly all these documents, showing that humans and extraterrestrials have been making deals, that our governments have been working together, that they've given us alien technology, all these things you hear all the time. And then you see the interview with the actual people who had released this information. And as well, people like Linda Moulton Howe, who was a UFO enthusiast, and she got fooled, she got duped. They had an interview with her, and this one guy was explaining how he had given her this paperwork as if it was truth, as if it was fact. And, he was there as a disinfo agent, as a trying to fool the UFO community into thinking that this and this are real. And it happened during the Cold War, during times when we wanted everybody to think we had superior power. So, of course, naturally, we want to continue to spread this. We were also afraid that the Russians had infiltrated the UFO community so they could get into Area 51 area and, get closer to look at our secret projects. So we had to skew the information. So my only point here is that we really don't know what's true anymore. But at the end of that document, it said that the questions of where humans came from had been answered, that we were actually a genetic experiment created by these aliens. And of course that reeks of, old books like, oh God, who's that guy? I can't even remember his name right now. There's a couple of the different guys that wrote books about UFOs, and one in particular. And some of these people used older ideas to write their theories, and then the government used some of these older ideas and some of the books that had already been written to fool people by confirming what people had already read or already written. So what does this do for us? Nothing. It makes it very confusing to know what's true. I've seen strange things in the sky. I have no doubt that there are extraterrestrials. But as for the details of it, how do we know what's real? How are we ever going to know which documents that have been, quote, leaked are actually legitimate documents? I mean, the government knows all too well how to hide their secrets. It's by flooding the information market with everything you could possibly want and giving all the answers a person could want. So really the reason why I'm making this video is because we all want to know the truth. We all want to know what's going on, and there's so much bunk information out there. And it takes a little bit of critical thinking for people to wade through it and say, okay, now this reeks of an old story from here. This might have been taken out of this book. If a person sees something, there's two different ways to look at movies, okay? Some people say, let's say a UFO movie, some people will say, well, they were privy to the information, they're releasing these movies to desensitize us, so when they release, finally do disclose, nobody will be freaked out. And then there are other people saying, no, they're making the movies based on what everybody's already saying because they know people will watch it because they're fascinated. I guess what I'm getting at is that sometimes people will hear something, like a government document will be released that confirms something that they heard before. Does that mean it's true? No. But people want it to be true. And, I want to think critically. I want to figure out what's really going on. I'd like to know, how much information we really have on UFOs and aliens. Because, they use these same methods to obscure and make the U.S. government appear as if it has so much power. It's propaganda a lot of the time, and it's just to confuse the subject. So just be aware, that a lot of these quote documents that are released were released on purpose. A real government document tends to surface now and again, and a lot of mundane ones surface. But as for the really, as for a document that says, well, we know where humans came from, and we were created by aliens, and this is what we're here for. This kind of stuff is like, nobody would make a document like that. It's just silliness. And people buy it. So, anyway, before it gets long, I'll just let it go. I just want people to, be aware that there's a lot of disinfo out there. And it shouldn't scare anybody from wanting to find the truth. It's just because you see something that's an official document, or appears to be an official document, means absolutely nothing. So we're kind of on our own as for wading through the nonsense. I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. Maybe our government has no UFOs. Who knows? My thought is that they probably do, but have I seen one? No. Have I seen yes, I've seen a UFO, but I've never seen a ship in a government hangar. I've never seen an alien in a government hangar. I just have my speculations. So, anyway, guess that's all I got. Take care, everybody.